Hi, and welcome to the Assemblies of God History, Missions, and Governance. I am Rick Lee Steinert, and I want to talk about the history of Azusa Street Revival and the impact that it even still holds today. I want to talk about also the pioneers in the Assemblies of God missions and certain people that were able to go and make a difference. The Azusa Street Revival was a Pentecostal breakthrough. Some would call it a charismatic movement. As Vincent Snan says, Christianity was forever changed by Azusa Street Revival in Los Angeles at the beginning of the first century. Azusa Street helped ignite a fire of God in not only one denomination, but in many, and it went worldwide. The fire of God, the movement of God. One could not even dream of the effects and the power that came from this event, from humble servants of God in a small building meeting together in 1906. It was in a time of racism and hurt and pain, but God moved through a man named William J. Seymour in a rundown mission. See, this gives me hope and joy and great encouragement to know that God is faithful to those who are faithful to Him. That if you seek God and that if you search for Him, you will find Him. If you seek Him in prayer, God will move even in the rundown places of our lives. We don't have to have the big fancy everything, but if we're faithful in prayer, God will move. At this time, services was 3 times a day, 7 days a week from 1906 to 1909. That's a lot of church. I don't know about you, but 3 times a day, hopefully he didn't have to preach every single one of those. I would get tired. Today, in America and the culture that we have at this time, it's quick, fast, and hurry up and get things done. We can only take one service a week for 1 hour. We want a 30-minute worship, a 30-minute sermon, and we want to get out and go to lunch and watch our games. Not all of us, but as a culture. See, I went to Africa on a missions trip, and they gave us a 2-hour time slot for each pastor, and there was 3 of us. That's 6 hours of preaching because we preached back to back to back. It was amazing. God was moving. But to preach for 2 full hours, if I tried to do that here in America, no one would show up next week. But the point is that they were willing to seek God and to spend time with Him. And that's what I want to see here in America. We need to stop being so busy and seek God. During these services, people came in, and what drew them into this attraction was that Christians were receiving the baptism of the Holy Spirit with evidence of speaking in tongues, just as the Church of Acts did. This was considered new and life-changing. It is said that Seymour was a soft-spoken, meek preacher, and that he spoke common so that the uneducated could understand him. God used him to set a spiritual fire in Los Angeles that spread worldwide. And it still has the effects today. Another person I want to talk about is Anna Zeiss. She was in the missions field. She was a woman that was called to go to China and serve as a missionary to the people. The fact that Anna didn't try to maintain her Western standards of living while ministering to the impoverished, this is powerful because the fact that she stayed when other Westerners were leaving, she stayed. She saw the need of the people and spread God's love. And in doing so, Anna was able to lead 86 prisoners to follow Christ, also get water baptized. The power of God was moving in China, and she was led to lead, and she did all she could do to help that country find God. Rogers says that Anna Zeiss gave up her life that promised comfort in America to follow God's call in China. She did so as a single woman in an era that generally required women to be submissive to men. See, this was a country that was in war and turmoil and suffering, and she stayed and gave her life so the people could find God. Going into a country that was in a cultural revolution in the 60s where millions were dying and being killed is crazy to do. But with the power of God, she was able to do it. Because with God, all things are possible. We know in Matthew 19:26. But Jesus looked at them and said to them, with men it is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. See, I want to see a nation come to revival like it did in the days of the Azusa Street. I want to see the Spirit of God fall on the young generation, the old generation like never before, that people are so on fire for God that they're willing to lay their lives down and go into countries of war and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that is where our history leads us to today, and I hope history would repeat itself in that sense. Have a great day.